In this video, what I'm going to do is, last time I kind of went over the whole workings. This time I'm going to go into the failure points of shifting this and just kind of deal with that directly. On this side is the shifter. And all I have here, there's no other mechanism, so if you have another mechanism below where the shaft's at, then you should check it all out. On this bike, all you have is this pedal comes down, the shaft goes down, and it comes all the way through to the opposite side right here. And let me expose the transmission inside the shifting mechanism. Take these both off. Last time I talked about it, I told you about your shifting forks, which we've been over. So going over the part that could go bad here is, like I said, this shaft comes through there, comes out here, and all you do is you lift it up like that, and this whole shifting lever comes out, see? So I'll tilt this up so you see that a little better. And you can see it's got two little hooks on either side. And those hooks go into this groove here that cause this part to rotate forward or backwards depending on whether you're shifting up or down. You'll see if you take, you have to get your own manual. It could be a little different now. On this one, there's a little knob here that does some things, but when you take that bolt off and you unbolt this thing and you take this part out, then this shaft here will come out. There's a screw here. All this thing here will come out. So what can go wrong is, first you have to check, like I'm saying, that those little points there. Next, we talked before about this part here that decides what gear you're in, like to sit it there so it won't move. Behind there, if you were to actually be able to get in there a little bit better, which is hard, is what the points are grabbing to make it turn, and then it's turning that. And this part comes out when you take these screws off, you take a cover off, and then this will be able to be taken out. Now I think what it's looking to me, I mean the manual didn't go into it in detail, but I wanted to, before I tell you, I thought you had to take this all apart to get this out. It doesn't really look like it. Once you loosen this up, I think you could get this out without taking anything more off. Now, also when you loosen it up, there's a little cover that, see these guys here, all slide on a shaft. That shaft is exposed here, it'll come right out. Then all these will be loose. And what I wanted to show you additionally is, it's kind of hard to see, but underneath there, well, let me just turn it all the way over so we can see underneath. Okay. Hold on, I'm going to try to readjust it. See this big hole here? So it looks like once you take this big cover off, there's now a hole, and that's big enough to get your hand into and do some things. And then those shift levers can come out that way, because they couldn't come out the side, they could come out through the bottom. You take them out, so slide the shaft out that way, take these out the bottom, and then you can get a better look at them. Because going back to our shifting failure points, one thing you got to do is, when you pull this out, you got to check the grooves, pull the shaft off. That'll have a shaft. You'll have to check the shaft around what the size of that shaft is versus this hole to make sure when it's sitting on the shaft it's not moving like that. You have to check these little nubs that they're not worn down. There's some specs onto that. Another thing is, now you see how they made these, that this end right here has a little nub out. So these have to be, you have to put a micrometer on those and make sure those thicknesses are not worn too much. And another thing is that could happen is when you look at it like this, if somehow this got bent, like if this were to have gotten bent one way or the other, they're pretty darn sturdy. I know some of this stuff seems like not possible, but really what would happen first would be this would wear, and then probably this shaft could wear where it wiggled like that. But I think looks to me like the number one failure point is that these could wear, and then it doesn't push that intermediate gear I showed you. They sit in these gears like so. Okay, sits around that gear and that collar, and then it shifts over and back. That if that little tip is worn, it's not getting it in there. It's got to get it over there. Doesn't hardly seem possible, but if it's worn enough or bent, that's where you could fail also, if it's in the transmission part. And like what I'm saying is, I wouldn't worry about it, because the nice thing is that you can get at all that. That was the important part of showing you this part of the video, that there's a hole there that will allow you access to all these pieces, and you don't have to take the engine apart to do it. Hope you learned something watching this.